Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another recording, broadcasting of Let's Talk About It. I am your host, Helen Artis-Armstrong, and I'm excited about sharing our topic with you on today as we go on our journey to better mental health. It's definitely been a journey, and we're going to continue to strengthen ourselves on this journey. Again, welcome to Let's Talk About It. I am your host, Helen Artis-Armstrong, and our topic for today is going to be postpartum depression. Postpartum depression. So let's talk about it. Well, some people may ask the question, what is postpartum depression? And what it is a type of depression that women will experience after they give birth. Some women will experience it even towards the end of their pregnancy. And it's something that is very common. It's no big surprise that such a large number of women go through it every year. Approximately 3 million women in the United States suffer with postpartum depression every year. And that sounds like a really, really big number, but it's really not. It's only about 15%, 15% of the women that will give birth, of the women that are pregnant. And so that's really not a large number, but it is. It's very common, very common. And there's a lot of women that are going through it that have no idea that that's what's going on with them. A lot of people or women will chop it up to, oh, it's just the baby blues. There is a tremendous hormonal change when a woman gives birth and when a woman is pregnant. And so about 75% of the women that give birth are going to go through the baby blues, where they'll be having a lot of fatigue, just extra tired, where they may have some low moods, where they might do some crying, where they may experience some bouts with anger, a little bit, some just, the baby blues and the woes, and because it is a lot. A little bit of sadness may occur after a woman has a baby. She may have a small change in her appetite. But those things normally are going to level off within a couple of days, just a few weeks. It is another step beyond the baby blues when a woman experiences postpartum depression. And it could last for several weeks. It could go up to even several months, right on into a year. And a lot of women that probably are susceptible to this um, disorder, that's what it is, or this mood change, this part of depression, is going to be somebody that may be a single parent, somebody that's already having relationship issues with the spouse, someone that they might be already dealing with some mental illness like depression. Women that will experience this, they might be somebody that's having limited support, somebody that's just had a child and they don't have a good support team, and they are feeling the pressures of doing it all by themselves, feeling overwhelmed with taking care of this brand new baby. Another risk factor might be a person that has a child that's special needs. We know that that's just an increased amount of work and pressure that's going to be put on that person that has to support this child. And so postpartum depression, it may be a dangerous thing. It could be life-threatening for that mother. It could be life-threatening for that child, because that mother may begin to experience things like not even wanted to deal with her own child to the point where she could become dangerous to that child. Um, we know of these cases, and it's nothing that is intentional on behalf of that parent. They might feel like the baby doesn't like them, and we need to get rid of it. They might feel like that they are not capable of taking care of that baby. And so it could become a dangerous situation. So postpartum depression is not something to take lightly. Um, it's not something to sweep under the rug. And any parent, any mother that gives birth is susceptible to it. Okay? It's a mood disorder. You're going to see it. It's prevalent in women that are age 18 to 35. You're going to see it within these women a little bit more often. And normally it's short term. Um, but again, it can go for months, right on into a year's time when this woman is still dealing with it. And one of the things that wowed me about the whole thing, that was shocking to me, was to find out that it can affect someone other than just the birth mother. Okay. This can also affect adoptive parents, surrogate mothers. They can experience that, because what you're talking about is when this baby comes and this transition happens, you're talking about social changes. You're talking about financial changes. You're talking about emotional changes, having this new life to care for, and having the worries and the scariness of taking care of this new life, the physical changes that take place, in the body of that mother and that surrogate, you know. Even with adoptive parents, it's possible for them to have a shift in hormones as well with this new baby that comes into the home all of a sudden. Emotions begin to rise, and just the difficulty of taking care of that child. That kind of threw me for a loop. I would have never suspected that. But studies show that it is likely, it is possible, it can happen. And then there's another level of postpartum depression where it goes into postpartum psychosis. Postpartum psychosis. That's when we're talking about a person or that woman begins to have things like hallucinations, begin to hear things, see things, where that mother may begin to experience things like thinking the baby got up and moved, thinking the baby said something mean to her, the baby said, "I don't like you." Psychosis, meaning that the mind has totally shifted, and that mother is beginning to experience a true mental break. Okay, a true mental break. Now, that is not very common at all. That is going to be something that's very uncommon, and it only happens in about 1 out of 1,000 women. Okay, that's not going to be something that is going to happen all the time, but it is possible. There are possibilities with that. And that is one, that really, really can become life threatening for that mother and that child, and or that child. That mother may feel like, being in psychosis, the voices may begin to tell her to hurt herself, take her own life. I can remember reading about in the news a couple of years ago when there was a mother that had a young child and she had shifted into psychosis, okay, postpartum psychosis. And she proceeded to not only kill herself, but she attempted to kill the children. Now, by the grace of God, nobody died. But she tried to drown her children, her older children, the baby, and herself. Psychosis. Shifting from postpartum depression that went unchecked, that went unidentified, that went untreated, and shifted right on into psychosis. Okay. She really needed some help. She really needed a support system. And that may not be you. You may not be the one experiencing postpartum depression. You're not pregnant, don't have a child, but you may know someone. Okay. You may see these things happening in somebody else. You might see these changes, things like their health changes. You see that they're not eating like they used to. You're going by to visit them. They had the baby, and they normally had a spick and span, beautiful, clean house, and the house is torn down, and mom won't get off the couch, and the baby keeps crying. You'll see these types of things. And these things, postpartum depression, yes, it can affect the baby. Okay. It can affect the baby. Some of these babies may grow up to develop the behavioral problems because their beginning of stage of life and their foundation has been shaken, and there's nothing sturdy about it. They may have bonding issues where they have attachment issues where they're not bonding with the parents or the adults as they should, because they may be spending a lot of time crying and not getting attended to because mom is going through postpartum depression and dad may not be in the picture. Dad may be at work most of the time, and they're not getting that attention that will help them to have those secure attachments early on. They may have impaired social skills. They may begin to, as they grow up a little bit, shut down completely. They may, because they're not getting the talk tos from mom and that interaction from mom, they may have those social skills where they don't even know how to respond to other people. It happened. It's real. It really is. And postpartum depression, it's a drop in hormones when that woman gives birth. And it can be a tremendous, rapid drop in hormones as soon as that baby is born. And so you're talking about the woman's body going from a normal state when she's not pregnant to heightened hormones when she is pregnant. And when the baby comes, all of those just drop. And it's like the bottom falls out. And on the inside of the body, it's like the body is screaming, what just happened? And the body is trying to compensate and regulate and find homeostasis. And it doesn't always find that balance right away. And because of that, that woman may experience those things like postpartum depression. She might have those highs and lows in those emotions because there's such a rapid change that just happened to her body. And the response is not favorable for her. Nothing she did wrong. Nothing she did wrong. Can't blame her. It's the body's response. But you can support her. You can go in and I encourage people that know parents that are having children, women that are having children, go in and support them. Go in and give them that break. They say, okay, I'm here in the house, go take a nap. I'm going to wash the dishes. I'm going to wash these clothes for you. I'm going to take care of the baby for the next 4 hours. Go take a nap, take a load off, get a breather. Okay. Those are little things that can help that woman to come through that period, whether it's postpartum depression or it's the baby blues. She needs to be supported. If you know there's a single parent out there that just had a child, go help them. I've been with my husband for a long time, and one of the single most things that I can give him accolades for is his support after I had our last 2 children. I can recall him taking, let me take the week or 2 off of work. Let me take this time off. And I literally was able to lay in the bed and heal and snap to and get my bearings back. And I didn't have to do much. He came in, he was there from, beginning to end. Every woman does not have that. Every woman does not have that. And it's important to support them. Because postpartum depression, again, it can be life-threatening. It can be life-changing. So what are some of the symptoms to look for? That woman is starting to show signs of feeling really worthless. Extreme sadness. Extreme guilt. Talking about things like that. She knows she can't do this and support the baby, and I'm a bad mother, and the baby doesn't like me. Those are things you need to be listening for. Those could be warning signs. Those are symptoms. Low energy, motivation just gone. Don't want to get up and do things, and you know that's out of the norm for her. Okay, she could relate to you that she's having thoughts of hurting the baby. Don't laugh it off. Oh, girl, you silly. We know you're not going to harm this baby. No, she might. Okay. Because remember, I just talked about a woman can shift from postpartum depression into postpartum psychosis. Just like that. It's going to come on so rapid. Very, very, very fast transition from that. Okay. If they say something like that, you need to pay attention. You need to offer up some help. Okay. Excessive worrying, lack of interest in the baby. Just see her not wanting to pick up the baby, not wanting to interact with the baby, not wanting to do things for the baby. Letting the baby lay there cry. Warning signs. Those are some of the symptoms. They are. So you say, well, my daughter just had a baby, and I noticed these things are going on with her, and I feel a little bit concerned. Talk about it. You see so many things and you have any slight suspicion that these things are going on with her, talk about it. Because she needs your help. Point blank, period. Begin to have that open conversation with her. Are you feeling, like you might hurt yourself? Are you feeling like you might hurt the baby? I noticed that you are leaving the baby up there crying in the crib a lot. Do you want to pick up the baby? Do you want to hold the baby? Ask these questions. How are you feeling about these things? Okay? Have that conversation. And don't be afraid to encourage that person to reach out. And if that's you, and you know that you're experiencing these things, reach out to your pediatrician. Reach out to your OBGYN, your family doctor. Reach out to somebody to say, listen, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I'm going through. Because there's help out there for you. This thing, a lot of times women cannot, let me repeat that, say it out loud. Women cannot battle this by themselves. You will need a support system. They will need a support system, whether it be the doctor, the pediatrician, whether it be mama and their sisters, the husband, the boyfriend, the baby daddy. Somebody needs to be there to be a support. And many a times, these women cross over into that place where they need a little bit of medical support, medication to help them to rebalance, to help them to get grounded again. Okay. And doesn't mean that you're crazy, because you're not. It's just that your body on the inside kind of going a little bit haywire, And so don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid. Know that it's the best thing for you. It's the best thing for your child. It's the best thing for your household. And you can come through it. It's not going to last forever. And we've also found out that there's some women that have children in close proximity, that don't have a lot of space in between the time when they are birthing out their child. We're finding out that many times that they are very, very susceptible to postpartum depression. Yeah, you'll see these women and they have not had time for their body to bounce back to that level of homeostasis. And so that depression, that postpartum will come in. Also, there are women that have children that are stillborn, children that don't survive. And they too can suffer from postpartum depression. So where the baby's not even there, where there was still a hormonal shift and a hormonal change, and there was still a drop in those hormones once that baby was delivered from their body. And the body can respond in that same pattern whether the baby is there with them or not. You could have a baby and put the baby up for adoption, the baby never even be in your vicinity, and you still experience postpartum depression, feelings of worthlessness, feelings of self-hate. It happens. So if that's you, reach out and get some help. Just know the help is out there for you. Start with your doctor, whoever was giving you your prenatal care, whoever was, treating you while you were pregnant. Reach out to them. Let them know that this is what I'm going through, and I need some clarity on what I need to do next. I need some help. I promise you. I promise you. They will help you. They will point you in the right direction. Well, that's my spiel for today. Talking about postpartum depression. There is help. As always, I want to encourage everyone that's watching this broadcast to know that Jesus is my saving grace and that he is able to bring you through whatever you're going through, whatever you're faced with. Nothing shall be impossible with God. That's one of my favorite scriptures, Luke 137. For nothing shall be impossible with God. And he can bring you through whatever you're faced with. It's not enough just to pray. You got to put in some work. You got to be able to pray and as well as move in faith and act on that prayer where you reach out, where you say something to somebody and say, I need help. And believe that God is going to put the right people in your pathway, put the right people in your loved one's pathway to help them get through whatever that situation may be. Okay? Well, you can reach us with any comments or questions you might have. Our website is kboministries@yahoo.com. kboministries@yahoo.com. Until the next time, y'all be blessed. Okay, bye-bye.